Hello. Thank you guys so much for coming. As Ruth said, my name is Desiree Venable. I'm running for State House District 17, which includes Bastrop, Burleson, Caldwell, Lee, and Milam counties. The decision to run came one afternoon when I was chatting on the phone actually with Ruth in my kitchen, and I was calling her to talk about the election, and she mentioned that we needed a Democratic candidate for State House, and said that I should consider it. Kind of forced it a little bit, actually. Didn't really ask if I'd consider it, said I should. Yeah. And it honestly, it only took me a couple of hours to decide to run because I realized if I didn't do it, then our Republican opponents would go unopposed and continue to hold power in our state, and our state would just continue to deteriorate under them. So when people ask me, though, why I decided to run, I say, in summary, it's because I'm frustrated with the lack of integrity and representation that we see in the offices. But that doesn't fully encompass how I feel about the situation. So I've been a political activist for all of my adult life, and the amount of my as my frustration mounted in the last few years, I got more and more active. So I had joined and became an active member of the VCDP. I became a board member for the Coalition of Democratic Allies, and I just continued to fight harder and harder and harder. And then when I realized we weren't gaining any progress, the more effort I was putting in, we were actually losing our rights, and nothing was getting fixed. So it's not a frustration so much as it is like this fury and this rage inside me of having to watch day after day the injustices and the inequalities that occur in our society, and especially knowing we have the ability to fix that. So again, in summary, it's just a rage that has fueled me to run for this position. So I'm not a politician. I am a small business owner-operator. I'm a resolution specialist, and many years ago, I was a substitute teacher as well as a coach for a public rural public school. I was born and raised in a town of 350 people to teenage parents, so I do understand financial struggle. I grew up watching my teachers work 2 jobs, which unfortunately is now a common occurrence. Our school could not provide essential necessities to students who couldn't provide them for themselves. And oftentimes we actually had a parent that would coach an athletic program for free or fund the program themselves, because without them we wouldn't have had the program at all. And just to push on you how important these programs are, they're often the only way that students in underserved communities can afford through scholarships to go and experience higher education, and I'm included in that group. Without the athletic and academic scholarships I had, I would not have been able to afford college. My entire life I've been pro-union. I was born and raised in a union family. My dad, my grandfather, and my uncle were all part of the same ironworkers local union. And thank you, yeah, go unions. I did just gain the AFL-CIO endorsement, so my family was extremely proud of that. Unfortunately, during construction, my grandpa suffered an injury which resulted in permanent disability. But fortunately for him, he was part of the union, and they actually paid his disability for 7 years while he fought for his settlement in court, and he actually ended up winning his settlement. But it took 7 years, and the only reason he didn't lose everything he had to his name was because the union supported him through that period of time. So our unions are vital, and after I win this election, I will continue to support and protect the unions. I have also been pro-choice since I was old enough to understand what that even meant, and so when our rights were taken away, again, it wasn't a frustration, it's a fury. And for lack of a better term, I was just pissed. And I was out protesting every single time I could find a protest. I was talking to everybody. I'd even lost friends and family members because I refused to spend time with people who think that I don't deserve rights to my own bodily autonomy. So, very much pro-choice, and I just want to make one more statement on that because I think we're all on the same page. Abortion is health care, and at no point in time should our government step in and make medical decisions for us as individuals. Unfortunately, the current incumbent, Stan Hurties, is running for re-election. He is very much anti-choice. He is endorsed by Greg Abbott. He is a supporter of the school voucher scam that would have defunded more our already underfunded public school system. and he is endorsed by the NRA, meaning he is never going to push common sense gun law reform, ever. The amount of support though, and then I got the bad out of the way, I'll give you some good. The amount of support I've actually had from almost every individual I've spoken to in the last 2 months about my candidacy has all been positive, and I was so surprised because I always thought that our district, which is again Bastrop, Burleson, Caldwell, Lee, and Milam, I'd always thought and been told it's red, and it's not red. It's purple, and it very well has the ability to be blue if we can get organized and get someone, hopefully me, that's able to entice excitement and hope into people to get them to the polls. So that's what I'm here to do. And like I said, everybody's been so supportive, and they're just hungry for representation, actual, real, common sense representation. And I'm gonna guarantee to y'all, no offense to Teresa, that you won't find a candidate more dedicated or willing to put in more time than I am. Okay, all right, Teresa's right there with me. Since January 1st, I have not spent less than 10 hours every single day on this campaign, no less than. And even last week, I had a 16-hour day where I'm putting into some aspect of the campaign. That's how dedicated I am. We just started call time about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I put 10 hours a week into call time, and I will have no less than 10 hours put in from this point forward as well. So, again, I'm just very persistent, and I kind of do my best work, honestly, when the odds are stacked against me, and that's where we're at. So, this state, unfortunately, also has seen a Republican trifecta of power for about a quarter of a century now, and I think the Republicans got so comfortable in that power that they overstepped a little when they took our rights away. They thought we would continue to be docile and complacent, that maybe we'd protest and then go back to our regular day, go back to our work. But that's not what happened. The Democrats in this state have stepped up this year, and I don't know if you know this, but every position in the Texas Supreme Court, Court of Criminal Appeals, Board of Education, and Senate, every single seat up for election is opposed by a Democratic candidate here in Texas. Tidbit of hope. In the state house, again, I'm running for state house, there are 85% of the seats opposed by Democrats, and if you don't know, we only need 75 seats in the House to remove the majority power away from the Republicans. And guess how many Democrats we have running unopposed by a Republican? 38. No. So in the state house, without casting a single vote in the general this year, we are more than halfway to our goal of removing them from their power. So, and real quick, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm probably over time, but here's how I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna continue to pour every moment of time that I have into this campaign. I'm gonna continue shaking every hand, knocking every door, and attending every single event, big or small, that I can go to. I even went last week to Millie's on Main here in Elgin and made Valentine's cards for the senior center, and I was embarrassingly the only adult at the coloring table, but I'm sure they appreciated my cards. I'm going to fight to, sorry, I lost my place here. Oh, I'm going to continue to appeal to the material concerns of our community members, like fighting for expansion of healthcare and fight like hell to get more funding for our public schools. I'm going to continue to support other Democratic candidates as well, which I have been bouncing around. I went to Lockhart 4 times last week, which is a 2-hour round-trip drive for me, to support some of their candidates and attend their events and canvass out there. So I'll continue to support them so we can not only flip my district, but we can work towards flipping the state as a whole. And also, last week as well, I went out to Austin to visit the Austin Young Democrats because I'm going to keep going outside of my district and trying to pull in even more donations, even more volunteers, even more support than what we have here so we can keep building our war chest. So, again, I'm super persistent. You will not find dedication like me except for Teresa. And I'm going to fight relentlessly to provide this future I've been talking about with y'all. But just like Teresa said, we can't do it alone. So this is what I need from you today, not tomorrow, today. I need a donation, unfortunately. I need you to sign up to volunteer. I need you to check me out on social media, and this is free and takes only a second. Like, share, comment, follow, boost my socials so that way I can spread my platform and reach for even more support. And I need you to get so fired up and pissed off that you become active, and as active as I am. So I need you to talk and communicate with everyone you know about getting registered, hitting the polls, getting out to vote, voting blue, talk about me, talk about Teresa, and just get everyone fired up and involved, because hope is what's going to kick off this campaign harder than it already is right now. So, and closing statements, I'm not naive. I understand this is an uphill battle. But so long as there are people like you and I that are willing to put in the work it takes to flip the state, it is absolutely an attainable goal. So remember two things: fight like hell, and together we're able. Thank you.